Hi, it's Cara. Welcome to my home. I can't wait to show you my house. I bought this house about a year ago, and it's the first house that I purchased completely on my own and designed. I wanted to create an entry that feels like calm, clean, and easy. This is the living room. I really played with earth tones and grounding textures in fabrics. So you'll see a lot of wood tone, you'll see a lot of beige, neutrals. There's something about that monochromatic feel that makes you feel just at ease. People say it's like a hotel walking in here, and like I couldn't think of anything better. Initially, when I first purchased this home, the paint color was a little dull. So what I wanted to do is I really wanted to brighten the walls. So through Lick, we found the perfect white. It's called White 01. What it does is it gives that sort of like spark of color and freshness without overwhelming you and feeling like you're in a hospital room. So I love the way that the White 01 turned out. It's really just exactly what I envisioned and perfectly brings together the cohesion of the rest of the room. It can be so overwhelming to furnish an entire home, but my easy tip for people is a mix between designer luxury and then great vintage finds. For instance, this amazing marble table that took me forever to find. This is full travertine and marble, and I absolutely love it. And then obviously loving the idea of like architecture. Finding replica Jean chairs was obviously a big must for me. I wish I could afford the real ones, but they're so expensive. So these were a great addition. And again, it's like that darker wood tone, so it pulls in the warmth. And that's how I balanced out like my cool tones with my wood tones, really created like that cohesion. And let me take you through to the kitchen. It's not that far. So this is the kitchen and the dining room, all in one area. You know, it's very typical in these types of styled homes to have very open floor plan, which I love, but designing it and keeping cohesion throughout this one large space is really important without making it seem flat. Again, I carried the White 01 throughout this entire level. That way there's like that fluidity and consistency. I love that the backdrop of this wall are these amazing doors that open to the outside. And again, having the light pop in really helps infuse the color, and I absolutely love it. Designing the space was really critical because it's like the central point between your living area and your kitchen. The white works so well to tie everything together. I found these amazing vintage designer chairs, and then some warm wood tones, a fruit basket, just to make everything not feel so cold. Okay, normally I wouldn't show you a guest powder room, but when I bought this house, it was a purpley taupe color, and it totally did not flow with the rest of the house. I found the perfect beige 03. It's light, it's not heavy, it still goes well with the rest of the house. You feel like it's in flow on this top floor. I added some pampas to give it some texture. Obviously, we have some cooler tone hardware, and everything just lends itself perfectly. I love it so much. I was so happy with how it turned out that I actually carried this color through all of my other bathrooms. So beige 03 for the win, for sure. This is the garage. These are my Harleys, just kidding, they're my boyfriend's, but believe it or not, I really hemmed and hawed over the garage color. It's the first entry point to the house, right? So you're setting the tone when you pull into the garage. So I picked Greyjo 2, which is a warm taupey gray, and I love this because it's neutral enough that it doesn't feel overly masculine, but it doesn't feel really feminine. Don't sleep in the garage. All right, can't wait to take you downstairs. I love all of the bright light you get from the window. It feels so crisp. It feels very inviting. Above us is this incredible chandelier that came with the house. Making sure that it really stayed consistent with the rest of the house was key. So to balance it, again, the white 01 as a backdrop, and then adding family and friends and photos is a great way to add texture that doesn't detract from the color palette. So I did all of my photos in black and white, and I really, really love it. And it feels like it's, again, part of the wall. So now we're on the second level. And I love this space. At first, when I saw this space, I was like, what am I gonna do with it? And it's obviously a small little nook, and I love the idea of sitting and reading. I have a morning routine, and again, there's less light down here in the hallway. I carried the white 01 through, and it just feels like such a calming presence, and I couldn't be more thrilled about this space. And through here is my primary, and I can't wait to show you it. So this is the primary bedroom. This is by far my favorite room in the house. I loved designing it. I love waking up and going to bed in here. There's something so tranquil and serene about the way this room came out. Again, carrying the white 01, and then I love a monochromatic moment, obviously, and then playing with key color palettes. So this is my closet, and obviously I have a ton of built-ins, but what I did want to do is bring dimension in with the color. So what we did is we picked gray 02, we lined the side of the closet, and then again the ceiling. As you can see, my favorite color is beige, and I am dressed head to toe in it. And we can't be in this room without talking about the custom bed. This is a 10 by 10 bed, which is obscene, and I had to have it custom built, which also means custom sheets, custom duvet, custom comforter, so really nothing can happen to this or else I'm totally screwed. Everyone gets a kick out of this big bed, but that's what a bedroom's for, you know? It's your sanctuary, so I get to lay in the middle of the bed in this calm, neutral, tranquil space. And this is my bathroom. I love my bathroom. The light from outside, the marble, the space, it just makes me want to like get up and go in the morning. For me, the must-have was really bringing in other like wood warm tones so that I could create that like cohesion with the rest of the house. I love the way it came out. Designing this house was such a labor of love. I picked everything out myself. I designed everything myself. I'm so excited I got to show it to you. One of the most interesting things I think about the design process was paint was actually the last part of it all. And it really just brought the house completely together. I'm so glad I get to have this as my space. Now get out so I can enjoy it.